Yo guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another video. Now, as you can see by the title, this really isn't the usual video I normally do. But if you watch my community posts and obviously follow on like the apps and stuff, then you'll kind of know what this video is going to be about. And to be fair, it did get to the extreme to where I did nearly actually die because of this. But before we do get into the video and talk all about it in the story, because I believe the story is really interesting and a bit funny, and you're probably thinking, how is this funny that you nearly died? Well, just a bit of a laugh really, what I thought. But before we do get into the video and we talk about what everything did happen, I just basically want to say, go and subscribe, hit that like button, turn on notifications, because we're going to do more videos kind of like this, because I really kind of like this. And guys, this isn't clickbait at all. Obviously, when you see the full story, you'll understand. So if you did follow my community post like I did say earlier, you can see on Saturday the 14th of September, I put a post out saying I'm stuck on the M25, and if you didn't know what the M25 is, it's basically like a highway, obviously for the Americans and like non-UK people, but it's one of England's busiest highways. It goes all the way around London, and literally there's so many accidents all year round on it. Now the thing is, I was just thinking, you know what, I want to go on a bit of a road trip by myself. I just went up to like my local area, like my local shop, Sainsbury's for those people who didn't know, like, you know, a local shop like be like Walmart in America or something like that. But you know, I thought I'd go up there, do something, and then afterwards maybe go back and I just thought a road trip really, nothing big, but I just thought a road trip would be a bit of fun. Then after that, I was going all the way across, and then if you don't know what the Dartford Tunnel is or the Dartford Bridge, it's basically a bridge which connects two counties together. I'll put obviously pictures in like behind everything so you understand what everything is, but obviously this just kind of gives you an understanding what everything does do and how I was kind of going across in the story. So yeah, I just went over the Dartford Tunnel or the Dartford Bridge, whatever you want to call it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go quite far here. I'm going to go to a nice place, see what it's like, and to be fair, I was just up for anything at that moment in time. I thought, you know what, I'll find somewhere nice where I can watch the sunset really. So I was pretty much doing that. Now with my car, it's quite an old car, it's like 15 years old, and I was going across and I saw the temperature light come on. I was like, oh, that's bad, because obviously if you don't know what that means, basically the water in your car is low and your engine's got to start to overheat, and if you see it in movies, the engine will start to steam up and a bunch of smoke will come out from the engine area. Now I was like, oh right, that should be okay, it's just come on, it's a warning. Then after a while I was like, I might pull over and put some water in it, and literally the light just went off. So I thought, well, the light's gone off, this should be completely fine really when you think about it. There's no light, the car was going fine by itself, so I thought, nothing to worry about, I don't need to stop and put some water in it at all. But little did I know, I was in the fast lane or the overtaking lane, going round, and all of a sudden, as I was starting to accelerate, the kind of like a weird noise, it was like a bubbling, or like, you know, on the dial where you've got like the kind of like ticking noise, or like the kind of thing where it goes up and down, and if you start your engine and it doesn't start, then it comes like a ticking noise. Now that's the noise I was meaning. I was getting that with the dial because it was struggling to get some speed, and also I was hearing the bubbling because the bubbling is in the engine right next to the actual kind of pedal or the accelerator for the water. Now the water was bubbling because the engine was overheating, it couldn't do it, and literally I had to pull over into the hard shoulder. If you don't know what the hard shoulder is, it's where in the UK you pull over if you're breaking down or you need some assistance, and so I had to do that really. Now the hard shoulder isn't really anywhere safe when you think about it. It's literally just a side road where no one uses unless you're breaking down, right next to the highway, so literally one step to the right too far, then you're going to get hit by a car really. So you can think, this is already quite dangerous, like, I'm only 17 years old, like, I've only passed my test maybe like 2 months ago, nothing like, I'm an experienced driver, I've been in like a moped for a while, but still, like, this is just something I've never experienced before. I was like, oh god, no one's with me, I don't know what to do, so this is where I was getting a bit scared. So I thought, you know what, the best thing to do was, if the engine's overheating and that's happening, I'll pop the hood, open up the hood, leave it to air out and see what's happening. As soon as I pop the hood, a massive wad of smoke comes out. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's not too dangerous. This is very, very dangerous when it comes to anything like this. The smoke can be very, very hot, and it can actually burn your skin, as well as, because I was doing the water and the temperature, you have to be careful because the actual kind of cap of the actual kind of water cooler bit can pop off and spew out any water that is in there, because literally it's almost like a volcano. It is crazy, and to be fair, I just didn't expect this to happen at all. So I thought, you know what, I would literally just stand to the side, and normally for everyone that knows, if that you are on the highway, there is normally a bit of area where you can literally just stay and literally go behind anything, so if in case a car crashes or goes into hard shoulder, you are safe. Well, in this case, there wasn't one like a kind of metal barrier at all. I was literally just standing right next to the road on the hard shoulder, and to be fair, there was lorries coming past and like everything coming past, and because the amount of force and the wind that's going past, it was making my car rock. And I've only got a small car, which, to be fair, when your car starts to rock like that, you do get a bit worried, even though your engine is already starting to smoke. So right now, you can probably already imagine how scared I am, because how much is literally just going wrong here, there, and everywhere, which, to be fair, didn't expect this at all to happen. So in the end, really, I had to just find out a different way of like how to cool this engine down. I had a few bottles of water which literally were my drinking bottles. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to use these to be able to like kind of cool down the engine, make sure it's alright. And so that's what I was starting to do. I was cooling down the engine, making sure everything was good, but in the end it didn't go like that, and I can't believe my aim just then. That was really shocking. But really, in the end, I just couldn't believe my luck. I couldn't believe what was happening, because literally nothing was going right for me. Everything was going completely wrong, and to be fair, I just couldn't write this at all. And how did he not die? Literally, I hit him in the head, he's got 2 health. So from here, I was like, you know what, I'm going to have to take the cap off. And if you don't realise how much these engines actually do kick up like a lot of heat, literally, I put the engine, obviously the hood up like I said, and I went to flick the cap off the actual kind of water cooler bit, and literally, I burnt my fingers from that. I was like, whoa, right, that was pretty close there as well. Now, you're probably thinking, well, this is not really how you died at all. Well, to be fair, we'll get to that story in a minute, because it's literally starting to build up, and I'm trying to get the whole story behind it, so you understand what was happening. So afterwards, I had to literally just call my dad. My dad came on his motorbike, helped me all out, and to be fair, got everything sorted, and I just started to go. Everything was fine, the whole engine kind of cooled down, and it was really good, to be fair. I didn't expect it to cool down that quickly, but you know what, seems to be fine. I thought, you know what, I'll carry on. So I completely did that. So I thought, you know what, instead of going straight trip, I'm going to go back home. I went off at the next turn off, went on the roundabout, came back home, back over the Dartford tunnel, and literally came across there. Now I was going across there, and all of a sudden, the same thing started to happen again. My dad was in front of me, escorted me just to make sure anything did happen, so I was fine. He didn't just leave me, so like, I was all good. But the same thing happened again. I had to literally just stay there, and I went to my dad, you know what, I'm going to leave the engine to cool. I've got water, you go, I'll stay, it'll be fine, don't worry, just get home, because it was pretty late at night at this point. And you're probably thinking, like, I didn't want to be mean to my dad, I didn't want to make him stay, because it was my own silly fault for going on a road trip by myself. I should have prepared, really, when you think about it. So at this point, I was again stuck on a hard shoulder, except this hard shoulder was completely different. Now, this hard shoulder was similar again, except it was half the hard shoulder. So really, it was about half to a quarter of a car's width, and to be fair, half my car was sticking into another lane. So I'm thinking, alright, this is very dodgy, and it's so hard to get off that hard shoulder, because so many cars are coming at such a big speed, you don't understand, and it's so underestimatable on how obviously dodgy drivers can be. So really, at this point, you know what, I thought a lot of lorries come down in a slow lane because obviously they have to go slower to make sure everything's okay. So I thought, you know what, I'd walk up a bit on the hard shoulder and start to pass some lorries over, and I kind of like guide them to make sure, because there's been a hazard on the road, to make sure everything is okay. So that's what I did. A few lorries just went past, making sure everything's okay. Except at this point, because I have no protection at all, and like I said earlier, there was no barriers whatsoever protecting me. I was literally just on a little grass bit, and this is the point where I nearly died. I was guiding lorries over. It's quite late at night, so it was hard for them to see me, and because they literally just couldn't see me at all, literally the lorry didn't move over, and literally I was like, oh my god, what is going to happen? The lorry was going at least 6 miles per hour, and I was literally crapping myself. So guys, at this point, like I was saying earlier, literally this lorry wasn't stopping, going about 50-60 miles per hour, and I was like, right, I've got 2 choices here. I either get hit by this lorry, or I try and get out of the way as soon as possible. And like I said earlier, there was no barriers at all to protect me, so at this point I was like, crap, I'm actually gonna get hit by this lorry. There's no way about it. But fortunately, at this point, I was just lucky enough to get out of the way. They're probably thinking, how did you get out of the way in time when the lorry's going at 56 miles per hour? Well, basically, what I did is I glitched. No, I'm joking. I didn't actually glitch. Just a bit of fun because, oh, okay, I just ran into a first strap. But still, no, what I did, well, I was lucky enough, a car actually did cut in front of the actual lorry, which made the lorry actually slow down to about 10 miles per hour. And to be fair, at that point, I literally just ran up kind of like a grass. It was kind of like a side hill, and I managed to just get out of the way. But literally, a second later, I would have been dead pretty much. But guys, that was literally it. And that point, I thought to myself, I'm so lucky right now. I'm thankful what I've got, because this YouTube, to be fair, I was getting a bit annoyed with YouTube because obviously the views were sacking. But I have myself to blame because I'm not doing what everyone wants from me for my content. I'm doing what I want to do. And at that point, I was like, you know what? My life is actually really good. I've got everything going really well for me right now. Because to be fair, the whole point of me going away was to kind of clear my head, because I had other stuff going on. And I just wasn't really happy at home, and I was just a bit fed up. It wasn't like my parents annoying me, it was just other stuff to do with school and that. And to be fair, I was just like, you know what, I need to just get away for a few hours, no one's going to annoy me, I'll turn my phone off, and that's what I wanted to do. But really, even though I nearly died, I was really thankful for what actually did happen, because I'm glad that that happened, because it just taught me, like, be grateful for what you do have. Even though you got some bad stuff going on in your life, literally just ignore everything else. Now, this video didn't mean to be clickbait at all. It was literally, the whole point is I nearly did actually die, and I didn't want anything to really happen to me, because when you think about it, like, people say, yeah, they want to die, but when they do get close to death, they think, no, I really don't. Like, I've got so much to loot, I've got so much to live for, and at that point was like me. I just didn't want to die yet. I've got so much to do, and I want to do so much more with my life. So really, guys, that was the story. I nearly got hit by a lorry at 60 miles per hour, and if that did happen, I would have probably been all over the UK news, splattered, to be fair, which, again, would have got me some fame, which would have been a bit of a laugh, but not at the same time we think about it, because I would have lost so much, my family would have been devastated and stuff like that. So really, that's why I kind of want to do it, and I see it as kind of a laugh in a way, but not in a laugh to the point where, like, I'm joking about it and I didn't really care. I thought it was a laugh as in, like, I'm lucky enough to get there, and to be fair, if I did die, that would have been really the whole end of me. But apart from that, guys, I just wanted to share that story with you. I thought it was kind of a valuable lesson for any of those people who are going through a tough time right now and they don't realize what is happening and they're getting confused. They don't know what to do because so much is going on and they're just so confused right now. Then literally think about your life, see what you have, see what the good things are, and just take your life for granted, because if you don't, then the whole point is you're going to get stuck in that trap and it's just nothing good at all. But really, guys, that is me, and to be fair, I just want to say thank you for those messages I did get in the community saying I hope you're okay and stuff like that. And if anyone has got any issues, feel free to message me, because I'm more than happy to help. But apart from that, subscribe, hit that like button, turn on notifications, because I'm starting to do more videos kind of like this, talk about like whole mental stuff, because I think it's a very, very important subject. But apart from that, guys, until next time, see ya.